Hey, what's up, winners? So, in this video, we're gonna take a closer look at the headaches and costs that the dealership endure when trying to accommodate customer customization requests. So, for example, if someone walks into a dealership and they want to customize their cars, how it positively and negatively affect them, from inaccurate representation of the vehicles on the online tool to the last minute cancellations, and how it impacts both buyers and sellers, and in fact the car companies too. We also dive into the behind the scenes challenges these car dealerships face, from forced buybacks and overflowing inventory to complex custom orders and steep discounts that they need to provide during the end of the year, or sometimes just because they cannot sell the cars anymore. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's gonna be amazing. Alright, I hope you learn.
This location. So what we try to do is like, let's say you want a flat Wrangler with
Right.
a small size wheels with a open convertible. We look out around the area to the closest matching things to what you're looking for.
Okay.
Um,
So, in the inventory, mostly.
throughout the whole Bay Area, or sometimes we do go out of the Bay
Got
for
you.
these cars.
Got
Especially with like Jeep dealers, we do a lot of dealer trades. So we contact the dealer, they have the car, we try to acquire the car from them. Um, Most of the time it goes smoothly, but there is some situations where like you miss one thing and then you get the car for the customer and the customer's like, I did not want this, or I wanted this
Yeah.
specific feature. And
How much does that happen? Because that's, I think that's something that dealerships are losing a lot of money on, right?
yeah, so it happens quite a bit.
Really?
So for me, a few months ago, I had to drive out to Sacramento for a car.
Oh shit, man, that's
I
like 2 hours
got
drive.
I
Holy
got
shit.
back here, showed the lady the car. She was
Yeah.
actually works at Stanford. Yeah, so we get this car for her. Everything seems fine the same day, and then
Yeah.
the next day she's like, "This car does not have the features that you promised," and
Oh wow.
it
Shit.
was a mistake from my end,
Yeah.
making her think that she was buying a different car.
Oh.
So we had to take her car
Yeah.
and had to drive back to Sacramento for a different car.
Bro.
So
Yeah.
so we did for say like it was.
So did you lose money on that, or
I
did
personally
she?
did it, but the dealer lost money on there, especially since we had already processed the car for her,
Yeah.
had already acquired the car for her. We almost got stuck with the other car that she had.
Man.
So we had the car here for 3 months, and the dealers do pay a lot fee
Yeah.
for having these cars sitting here. So
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't be.
I want to think from the first principles here. Like, why do you have these cars sitting here in the first place? Like, what purpose is that?
So the big one is giving the customer choice.
Yeah.
Past few months now we're getting a lot more inventory, but the past few months our special Wranglers have been very limited to
Yeah.
just the Rubicons.
Yeah.
And when we don't have different options, people tend to not want to stick to the specific dealer.
Right.
So we might be able to acquire the car for them somewhere else, but if they don't get to see it or at least get a sense of what the car is, they don't want to follow through with the purchase. Or we get a lot of customers like, I want this car, but I gotta drive it first before I buy it. And it's like, we
Yeah.
have the same car, just different color. Like, no,
Man.
I wanna. And it's like, it's the same car.
Like, what is it? They want to sit in the car and feel it, or they want to actually drive and see, like,
I guess it's just the sense of like I'm buying an expensive car. I want to make sure that when I buy the car and it gets here,
yeah,
it's up to my standard. That there's no like scratches or dents or any issues with that with the car.
that's true.
But even though it's a new car, we would take care of that if it did
Yeah.
have it. Just people how they are with things.
Yeah.
You know, you buy a sweater, you want to make sure
Yeah,
it fits right.
it fits,
it's
no
warm.
threads just going out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mine.
I mean,
yeah.
I love cars, man. Like, I've been working on this. When I just pivoted the whole thing, I was like, okay, I see like a pattern here. And do you use like any kind of like customization software?
So we do have that our special Jeep website.
Okay.
Our manager is the only one who's able to actually customize a car and order it.
Yeah.
But we have done that.
So like, how can consumers, like people who come in, can see like how their car's gonna look like?
So one is our Jeep website. The other
Right.
thing, Jeep has a app called iShowroom Pro,
Right.
and we're able to navigate, well, add things to the car and go like a 360
Got you.
views, interior views.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of companies have that.
Most car companies have that, especially like the big high end ones have
Right.
those.
Yeah.
The only thing with these cars really is that you're getting a 3D picture of the car, so
Yeah.
it's not not always very accurate to how it actually looks like. Especially those cars that have bigger tires than the normal ones that have the smaller tires,
Yeah.
and in photos you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah, photos are
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
So this is like when customers actually sees the car, it can go either way. They can be like, "Holy shit, this looks awesome,"
Yes.
or like they can be like, "Nah, this is not what I wanted."
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, we had a older gentleman come in here.
Right.
Very aggressive. Of I want this specific car. You're gonna get me this car.
Yeah.
The other big thing is timelines. So for his car in particular, it was a 6 month wait.
6 months.
Yes,
That's
and
crazy.
we told them, we were like, hey, 6 months. If you want to order this car, we
Actually,
can.
that's not too bad. I was at Ferrari and they were like, "It's 3 years, man." I was
Oh
like,
man,
"Sheesh,
3 years.
3 years
For a Ferrari.
for like a Ferrari Roma, which is not even the highest."
These people for the Cybertrucks, they waited for like 5 years now.
Yeah, but like that was before they even produced it.
So yeah, for us, so that customer, we told him 6 months, and he backed out a week later, and the car was already ordered.
Oh, man.
And it's like, so now we're gonna sit with a car that specific car he wanted is hard to sell already.
So he backed out after seeing the car, or
Hasn't even seen the car. He just
Man.
made us order the car for him.
Yeah.
Send out the request to the company to build a specific car. He calls next week saying, "I don't want the car no more. 6 months is too long
did
to
you
wait."
got like why do you think he did that? Like besides personal reasons?
I mean, honestly, it's probably the wait time, really.
Yeah.
With these cars, next week it could show up in a similar car could show up in like Sacramento,
Right.
or it could show up in the LA area.
Yeah.
Like, do I wait 6 months for my car? Or do I just drive down to LA and pick it up right now? It's usually
fair.
the deal with
That's
these
fair,
cars,
yeah.
especially with these cars since they're not special.
Yeah.
Like if you got me a 911 GT3 in a specific build, you're probably not gonna find that everywhere else.
Do you think like a lot of people just buy these cars and be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna customize it myself"? Like just go to a custom shop and just gonna do it myself?
Yeah, so the Wranglers are the big ones on those. This one in particular, you can kind of see it has a winch.
Yeah.
Big tires. The company has a 2-inch lift on it.
Yeah. My friend just bought that one.
Yeah, so you can either buy this one fully built out for around 80,000,
80,000.
or you buy a Rubicon, but without the builds,
Right.
and you go out and you build it out yourself, which come out like 10,000 more.
Yeah.
I mean, these cars are not so
looks good.
far off. This one in particular is 105.
Yeah.
You add in taxes to it, you're already looking at
Like you can
120.
actually do off-roading in that one.
Yes. I mean, they're kind of built for that. They have like reinforced winches.
Yeah.
Reinforced bumpers, rear and back. Those slides, those mini sets are supposed to take the full weight of the vehicle.
So does the company do like wraps and stuff, or they have like very specific customizations that they provide?
Not exactly. So they do have limited option colors that they come out every so often, but not something like, oh, can you get this built out for me? There is a company that does our trucks in particular. Our trucks, it's called the Black Widow Company. So it's a third party, but they do work alongside with Jeep to build out some cars to put lifts on them, put big tires, decals all over it.
That's fire, and you get like commission out of it.
Yeah, so we do get a cut out of whatever profit we make off the vehicles.
How closely do you work with these companies? Like for Jeep, for example.
Nah, I'll be honest, not so close.
Really?
Especially Jeep, they're more of a you guys do your own thing. You guys survive how you can.
And they just give you the inventory, and
yes, so
you pay them money up front.
Yes, so
Man.
thing that happened. I wasn't here at the time, but during the early 2020s, after the pandemic, Jeep, Stellantis, let's say, told the dealers that the cars are not going to be being built due to the chip shortages.
Yeah.
So all these dealers ordered hundreds of cars thinking they weren't going to be built. 2022, 23 comes by, and Stellantis just dumps massive amount of inventory on everybody.
Yeah.
So if you do a little bit of research on Jeep and this brand in particular, a lot of things that you see out there is that this is the longest sitting cars of all the cars.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't researched on Jeeps. Like I've just been focusing on supercars and hypercars, but I will.
So yeah, this is the longest sitting cars of all the cars in the car market.
Really?
We have up front, we have a 2020, this one in particular.
Yeah.
So this car is a 2023 Overland, which is supposed to be our highest level in Grand Cherokees.
Yeah.
This car at the time was being listed around $76,000, and by the time 6 months ago, now we're trying to sell it at 48 and as used. So
Yeah.
going back, they dumped us with all these cars. We couldn't sell the cars. The company forced us to buy them out. So now they're taking a loss, a huge, huge loss on this
Yeah.
one. This one is next up. So this is a 2023 Wrangler.
Yeah.
We had until December 31st to sell them before the company forced us to buy it. We obviously couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
We have two of these and then two other cars. The dealership itself is about to write like $170,000 check
So
to buy these cars.
how does it work? The companies provide you the cars and you don't pay up front and then you just keep the car for a while.
So they're paying an interest on the vehicles.
Right.
I'll be honest, not quite sure how that fully functions and what is the rate and what.
Nah,
Like if the
yeah,
car
I don't know about
6,000, how much you pay off that? What I do know is that like at this situation, the car wasn't being able to get sold, so our company has to forcefully buy it from Jeep at full
So like
price.
this dealership needed to buy the car from the company.
Yes, and
Man, that's fucked up.
yes,
That's fucked
it
up.
is. So now they're taking a $200,000 loss on the 4 cars they couldn't sell. So
Yeah, I'm happy I'm here, man. Like I can see the points.
yeah, so especially last month, you should have been here last month. It was a hectic month, but we had a lot of cars here that were 2023s. One was originally set for 49,000. The person drove off with it at 29,000. It was like brand new car. We had a young
Just
kid.
like you just wanted to sell the last year models.
Correct. Before the company forced us to buy it.
Right.
So we had 8 cars. We were able to bring it down to only 4.
So, like, how many of these people, let's say someone's buying that, how many percentage of people in general want to customize that car?
More than we would want.
Really?
So they'll come in here, they'll look at it like, oh, I love this car. I want this car. But I want this and that and that and that.
So, like, do you see a pattern there that they want to customize, like, for example, this versus that? This is, I think, relatively less expensive than that.
Yes.
So do they want to customize more expensive cars or?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Especially the Wranglers and the Grand Cherokees. The last one I sold of these, I drove out to Sunnyvale, which is not too far, but I had to get a very specific car. If Sunnyvale, which was funny story, Sunnyvale had just received that car that week.
Oh shit.
If they didn't get that car that week, I was gonna have to drive to Santa Maria for one.
Okay, you got lucky there.
Yeah,
Man.
so very, very lucky there. And then again, you run into the problem of like, is the customer going to be happy with the car once it's actually here?
Yeah.
For that particular customer, he wanted all his emblems blacked out.
Okay.
The car that we had to acquire for him did not have the emblems blacked out, so it was a 50-50.
So did he do these people fix the deal before they see the actual cars?
Yes. So that's when we have to acquire from somewhere else. We will show them pictures on the website of the car itself, but we told them you have to sign paperwork now. You have to,
because like it's not gonna be an actual representation of the car.
Yes.
On the website.
Correct.
On the pictures.
Yeah. Especially because some websites may use the stock photos, or sometimes the company, let's say the dealer itself, messes up on the photos and might put the photo of this car on the other car, and you're thinking you're getting one car and you actually get another different one.
Oh shit.
That's happened too many times here,
man.
actually.
So how much percentage usually do you see of these cars like getting customized? Do you have like a rough estimate?
For the Wranglers, it's pretty funny. It's more like a 50-50.
50%?
Yeah.
That's pretty high, man.
I'll lean them more like 60-40. 60 not customize it, 40% do customize them.
Right.
Since this car in particular has 2 customers.
Right.
A person who loves off-roading and wants to customize their car. Or a customer who wants the car itself for the look and the feel, but it's not going to do any of the off-roading stuff.
Right.
So every day you get a customer like, oh, I just want a Wrangler. And they buy the car just because it's a Wrangler.
An impulsive
thing. Or you get the customer like, hey, I want this car with this specific specs. I want these wheels, this, that.
And how much time do people spend doing that? Like, just, you might have a room where you guys sit and like customize the cars for them.
It could take about like 30 minutes. Sometimes it doesn't take too long, which is
and how do they feel about that? Like, are they usually happy or are they disappointed after actually seeing the car?
Most of them are happy. Most of them actually like the car, since we try to do a pretty good job.
And I'm not talking about the cars. So like, I know the cars are great.
Yeah.
But like the software itself, like how it represents those cars. Do they feel good about that, or do they feel like, yeah, you know what, like Looking at the car right now, this looks great. Like I can see how it's gonna look
Yeah.
like, how my car is gonna look like. But like on that screen, man, like
Correct. The software is not so good. I'll say they could do a lot more better. Maybe like mostly AI coming out nowadays. They could make
bro,
like a
yeah,
fake AI video of the
yeah,
car where you could do
exactly.
a walk around, or like I know some companies now are trying to do like the Oculus where they
Yeah,
show you like
yeah,
certain builds or plans of a certain
yeah,
vehicle with Oculus. That would be a pretty neat thing to have. So
yeah.
people can like, especially with some Jeeps, the very big ones, they could like put on these glasses and like, oh, let me walk around this
Yeah.
car and how it could possibly look like.
I know Lamborghini does that because on your phone, right? Like you can literally do like pull up a Lamborghini, it sits there, and you can just like walk around
Yes,
with it.
that's what I mean. Yeah,
You
that's
not
the
even
one
put the
thing.
headset, just like on your phone.
It'll be pretty cool with the headset though, I
Yeah,
think, because it'll actually feel like instead of like
yeah,
looking through a
yeah,
little screen, like
yeah.
it's there.
100%, man. All right, I appreciate the
Yeah, of
time.
course, man.